For decades, Nigeria's education sector has lived through a familiar pattern: bold promises, ambitious reforms, and then, too often, slow progress. The challenges have never been hidden. Millions of children remain out of school. Universities and other tertiary institutions have struggled with recurring strikes. Classrooms at primary and post-primary schools are overcrowded. Infrastructure is stretched, and funding shortages continue to affect students and institutions. Over the last 3 years, the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu GCFR introduced a series of reforms aimed at confronting some of the sector's deepest problems: access to education, institutional stability, and the quality of learning itself. For many Nigerian families, the biggest obstacle to education is not ability or ambition, it is cost. Tuition fees, accommodation, textbooks, transportation, and everyday living expenses have pushed tertiary education beyond the reach of countless young Nigerians. In response to these challenges, the federal government introduced the Nigerian Education Loan Fund, better known as NEL Fund, a scheme designed to provide interest-free loans to students in public tertiary institutions across the country. Under the program, tuition fees are paid directly to universities and colleges, while students receive monthly upkeep support of 20,000 naira. Through a digital application portal, the process has been designed to reduce bureaucracy and make access easier for students nationwide. Since its launch, more than 282 billion naira has been disbursed. Over 183 billion naira has gone directly to tertiary institutions for tuition and related fees, while over 98 billion naira has been paid to students as living allowances. More than 1.7 million applications have been received, with over 1.5 million students already benefiting from the scheme.
Because we need continuity in this country. For somebody to put themselves out and take a chunk of the nation's wealth and invest it in a body of people that represent 70% of society, the youth, and the remaining 30% who are not the youth are the ones who are footing the bill, paying school fees and what have you, for the younger population of providing support. So this is a scheme that will affect every single Nigerian, whether you're somebody's child or somebody's parent. But the real impact will not be seen in this scheme for years, for a decade at least. So I want to personally commend the President for being bold, being courageous, being visionary, and really not trying to politicize and exercise in investing in the nation.
One story that reflects the impact of this intervention is that of Oladipo Caleb Olugbenga, the overall best graduating student of Ladoke Akintola University of Technology for the 2024-2025 academic session. His journey is one of resilience and determination. Growing up in a rural community in Osun State without electricity for nearly 9 years, he studied with lanterns and candles, walked long distance to school, and pushed through enormous hardship in pursuit of education. Yet, despite those challenges, he graduated with an outstanding CGPA of 4.89 out of 5.0, ranking among the very best in his class and across universities in Africa.
But when I got to 400 level, that was when I heard of Nail Fund. You know, sometimes you hear of rumors and you would be like, should I do this? Should I do that? No, but there's one thing that I love to do. I love to make my research myself. So I went online, I I ensured that I did a proper research, confirmed from different sources, and said Nelfund is actually a reliable source of easing the burden. When you talk of getting a loan, interest free, you still have 2 years after graduation before you start repaying. Though it is a loan, fine, you're going to repay, but at least it came in at the right time. So honestly, Nelfund is not just accidental, it is something that I can say that is one of the structure plans that God arranged to help me scale through the hurdles of the final year. Final year is full of a lot of, it's financially demanding and emotionally demanding, academically as well, but Nelfund came through at the right time.
Oladipo's story is one among millions. A reminder that when opportunity meets determination, extraordinary things can happen.
I think it's actually a very creative and good idea because most people do not come to school because of fee and they are not capable of it. And usually most of students, let me say even my classmates, some of them were not able to come back to school. But at some point I was able to tell them about Nelfund and they applied and now they are back to school.
As for me, when I heard about it, I was thinking it's a joke. But when I said, let me just give a try. So when I applied, in few months, they verified me, I was approved. The next thing, they pay my schools. I was very glad.
For many students, the loan scheme has removed barriers that once forced talented young Nigerians to abandon their education halfway through. At the same time, the Tertiary Education Trust Fund has continued expanding digital learning infrastructure across tertiary institutions, using ICT tools to improve access to knowledge beyond the limitations of physical classrooms.
By leveraging on technology, ICT platforms, we're able to expand access so that we don't limit the number of students that we enroll in our tertiary institutions to the seating capacity or the size of the classrooms. So that we have a hybrid mode where people can also do online lessons. And indeed, the ministry has gone to the extent of even registering some institutions that are predominantly online institutions. So that have expanded access. Government has also established so many new institutions, universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education, all across the country, giving opportunity for the youth of this country to acquire education and to improve themselves, as well as contribute to the development of the country.
For years now, experts described Nigeria's education sector as a system hanging by a thread. Millions of students moving through schools without a reliable digital identity or coordinated data system. In 2025, that began to change with the introduction of the Nigerian Education Data Infrastructure known as NEDI. Today, the platform holds data for more than 32 million students, with every learner assigned a national learner identification number.
Data and digitalization was a big part of our agenda. It's a big part of our agenda. We set up a Nigeria Education Data Initiative. Now we've engaged an international consulting company as well as local consulting company to design this platform for us. This platform will monitor kids' journey from the pre-primary education to their foundational education, to their secondary school education and their universities. The way we're driving this, we will use NIN, National Identification Number, to identify each student on that database. So that at the end of it all, we have data that we can validate, data that is very trustworthy.
There is a presentation that I was part of where from the ministry they are quoting different sources of data, given different. Another person is quoting a data source that is saying that we have 18 million out of school children. And then another department is quoting 10.5 million out of school children. It's not really good for a country that we don't rely on our own data. We need to rely on different data from different organizations. And those data may be reliable as far as the scope depicts to collect that data.
But NEDI is about more than students' records. It is also designed to track the condition and needs of schools across the country. helping governments better identify challenges, allocate resources, and plan reforms based on real data. Nigeria is also shifting focus from certificate-based learning towards practical skills and employability. This vision is driving the renewed Technical and Vocational Education and Training Program, widely known as TVET, under the National Policy and Skills Development. Under the initiative, more than 250,000 Nigerians in the first phase are receiving vocational training across 2,600 accredited centers nationwide, with programs lasting between 6 and 12 months. The goal is simple: equip young Nigerians with practical skills for economic survival and long-term independence.
If Nigeria can get skills right, the rest of the world, the West, India, China, they will hear from us. You know, we're already determined people, we're smart people and all of that. So the gap is skills. So not because somebody has a master's in a certain course, meaning he has skills that are employable. You understand? So this is what the federal government is working with us to, you know, make sure our graduate, our undergraduate, our unschooled people have skills that can make them employable globally.
And as skills continue to define the modern economy, the National Youth Service Corps has also sustained its push for entrepreneurship and self-reliance through skills acquisition programs for corps members. Meet Kayode Tajudi, a beneficiary of the National Youth Service Corps NYSC Skills Program in 2018. What started as exposure to textile and printing skills has today grown into a thriving business enterprise.
At that company, we were able to learn how to make various kind of print. We print on any surface, we print on any souvenirs. Also, we learn how to make both casual wears and female wears. After my service here, I worked with some couple of companies which I felt working under someone cannot make me who I want to be. I thought of just setting up my own business, whereby I drive into making all kinds of casual wear, senator wear. Also, I make tie and dies. We are into general printing. We print on any face at Ajike's Designs. We make all sorts of souvenirs, jotters and pillow, magic mug. All these things was what I was sustaining myself with, which years after I started with one shop. This next year was another shop. The subsequent year, it was like more of like a building. Before you know, we got to a bigger place. Actually, Ajike's Designs is into training of corps members, where we teach them how to make money. Immediately a corps member is working with us, they have benefit of learning all these things.
I'm so happy. I've learned a lot for just 8 months now. I wish other people will experience this thing I'm talking about, because NYSC have changed my life in terms of SAI training. And for the fear, I don't have any fear, because just for this period of time, I've made a lot of sales. Like, Jesus, I don't longer beg for anyone for money, for help, because I'm making money out of this thing.
Another major area of reform has been curriculum restructuring. For years, stakeholders argued that the education system placed too much emphasis on theory, with limited attention to practical learning and long-term retention. Following extensive consultations, efforts have now been made to streamline subjects and promote more hands-on teaching methods designed to better prepare students for real-world challenges. Supporting this skills-driven approach is the Student Venture Grant, an initiative providing up to 50 million naira in equity-free funding for STEM students. The aim is to help students transform research ideas and innovations into commercially viable enterprises, ensuring academic breakthroughs move beyond classroom shelves into real-world solutions. One of the most significant developments in the tertiary education sector has also been the renewed understanding between the federal government and the Academic Staff Union of Universities (ASU). After years of disputes and repeated strikes, a new agreement is expected to replace the long-contested 2009 pact, bringing renewed hope for sustainability across Nigerian universities. The proposed settlement includes salary adjustments for lecturers and a 30 billion naira stabilization fund scheduled between 2026 and 2028. It is also backed by the Tertiary Institution Staff Support Fund, which provides access to loans for medical care, accommodation, transportation, agriculture, small-scale enterprise, and academic advancements.
We could not reach or have a collective bargaining agreement. Then this government came. You inaugurated the Yahya Ahmed Committee in 2024. An agreement was reached 14 months after the inauguration. It appears that this government took, for each of the 16 years, they took an equivalent of 1 month, right? And after 14 months, we now are here to witness this. This agreement focuses on conditions of service, funding, university autonomy, academic freedom, and other systemic reforms that will reverse the decay, curb the brain drain, and reposition our universities for national development.
Public confidence in examination bodies also remains central to the credibility of Nigeria's education system. Recently, technical glitches and concerns over examination performance raised difficult questions about reliability, transparency, and trust. Restoring confidence, many experts argue, is not just an administrative task. It is essential to preserving the integrity of the nation's educational framework. Even amid these challenges, the Joint Admissions and Matriculations Board, JAMB, recorded a historic milestone surpassing 1 million admissions for the 2025-2026 academic session for the first time ever.
Everything we do, one of it is record keeping. We track everything we do. I'm not talking of administration of the board. In terms of operation of the board, operation, that is what JAMB does in terms of registration, in terms of accreditation of CBT center, in terms of conducting examination and assessment of direct entry, and in terms of releasing results and placing candidates, which we call admission. In all this, we have automated it. We have ensured that they are sitting on very strong technology.
Early indicators also suggest growing momentum across the sector. More than 25,000 out-of-school children have already been reintegrated into classrooms. Around 4,000 Sagaya teachers have been trained and incorporated into formal education systems. Enrollment in technical and vocational programs has risen to roughly 650,000 students nationwide, while 38 technical colleges have been upgraded and connected to digital monitoring systems to improve accountability and transparency.
Students that will be going to these schools get more than enough practical skills. With the curriculum, 20% of it will be just on didactics, while 80% of those curriculum will be based on practical skills. How are we going to do this, or how are we doing this? Because we've started to get some early entrant into Activate Agenda. We will incentivize the citizen to go to technical schools. We'll pay them monthly stipend as well as transportation allowance. We will pay these schools that will categorize into 3 categories. This technical school that will include the 6-month training will be done at skilled training centers. The 12-month training will be done at the vocational enterprise institutes, and the 3-year training will be done at our state and federal technical colleges. We'll pay them decent tuition so that these two schools now have enough fund to hire high-quality teachers to improve their infrastructure in their workshop. So we're literally creating a new ecosystem in our technical educational system.
So I think so far this government, the last 2 years, has given education what it's supposed to give, and the sector is moving on fine. It's only left for some states to improve and leverage on some of these things that the federal government have made provision for them to enjoy and improve the education sectors in their own state.
And in fact, I should also let you know that WAEC has an application. We call it Center Locator. So with that app, all candidates and schools will not find it a problem to locate their centers.
Education reform is never instant. Its impact is measured gradually through stronger institutions, improved learning outcomes, and a generation better prepared for the future. The reforms introduced over the last 3 years do not claim to have solved every challenge facing Nigeria's education sector, but they do signal a deliberate attempt to reposition education as a foundation for national development, building a system designed not only to produce certificates, but to create opportunities, innovation, and long-term economic transformation for millions of young Nigerians. In the end, the story of education in Nigeria is ultimately the story of its youth, their struggles, their resilience, their hopes, and their future. And for a country with one of the youngest populations in the world, the stakes could not be higher. If nurtured properly, this generation of young Nigerians will become more than beneficiaries of reform. They will become the architects of a new national story, one where education is no longer a privilege for a few, but a pathway to possibilities for all. In Nigeria, education is now on the front line.